Welcome to Subramani. I was talking to a friend when I realized that a video like this could be useful. Is what happens when you get a raise in your salary, right? Whatever is your current salary, you get a jump, and what do you do with that money? Let us assume that you have got a 100,000 rupee jump in your salary. Your basics and all, I'm not even talking about how much is your current income and current expense, but you got a 1 lakh rupee raise on an annual basis, let's say, after tax, right? So you got maybe 1 lakh 50 and 50,000 went off in tax, and 1 lakh is the extra amount that you are going to get every year. What should you do with this money? I have a very simple rule. Anything that you do, afterwards there will be some regret, right? If you spend the whole money, then you will feel, oh, I could have invested in the markets. If you invest in the markets and the markets go down, you would have felt, oh, I could have at least spent the money, right? So there is no single good answer for it. So my answer is always like a multi-asset kind of a solution. Simple. Take 1/3 and repay any home loan that you have. Take 1/3 and put it in your retirement kitty, right? So I would call it a retirement kitty, where you have said, okay, this fund, this fund, this fund, this real estate together is my retirement kitty. You put it into that, right? So, and 1/3 you spend. This way everybody is happy. You repaid some part of the loan. Let's say 30,000 rupees you repaid as a loan, 30,000 you put into your retirement plan, and 30,000 rupees you spent with your family. Take this figure to 10 lakhs or take to 20 lakhs, doesn't really matter, the solution remains the same. Only in case that you don't have any home loan or any kind of personal loan, nothing, you have no loans to repay, then maybe you put away 30% for your children's education, 30% for your retirement, and 30% you spend today, because some of the income will be spent today. It is impossible to think that all the increment will go towards fresh SIP. That can happen in an ideal situation, but it does not really happen in real life. Your children, your spouse, your family, whoever consists of, maybe your parents, everybody wants some small claim on the increased income. Now what happens if you increase your expenses on the basis of your increased income? Remember one thing, your retirement has to be reworked. Let us say you are spending 10 lakhs per year. You are spending 10 lakhs per year, or it is projected that at the age of 60 you will be spending 10 lakhs per year, and based on that 30 times you require a 3 crore retirement corpus. Now suddenly you are saying, no, my expense will not be 10 lakhs at the time of retirement, it could be 20 lakhs because of the increase that I am doing now. I think my retirement expenses would be 20 lakhs, and therefore suddenly your requirement is no longer 3 crores, your requirement is 6 crores, right? This could happen if you increase that expense by a bigger amount. Of course, these numbers are just maybe a little bit of an exaggeration, but this could happen, right? So if you say, okay, my increment is now so good that I will make an annual trip to Europe, and that is going to cost me 10 lakhs. Self and spouse is going to cost me 10 lakhs. I am going on a 15-day trip, and these are the things that I am going to do. Maybe you'll go to Europe, maybe once you'll go to US, then you'll go to Africa. The world is really big, so this is going to be my expenditure. Now suddenly you have to provide for that. Most Indians solve it by saying, look, if I have money, I will go, otherwise I will not go. It's not some kind of a compulsion that I have to go to Europe or I have to go to US. Maybe I'll take a vacation in India, right? So that may be cheaper. That is one solution that people do. So just remember, if you increase your lifestyle, what people call lifestyle creep, oh, I must upgrade my phone, I can no longer work with this phone, I need a better phone, I need a better laptop, I need a better car, I need a bigger house. Any of this is lifestyle creep. Nothing right or wrong with lifestyle creep, but if you do a one-time lifestyle creep, like you bought yourself a new camera or a new lens, that is a one-time thing. But if you decide that you will go on an annual vacation to and spend extra 10 lakhs in that, that means that has to be provided for. So when you get an increment, this is very funny, when you get an increment, uh, whether that goes to permanently increase your monthly expenses or your annual expenses, or is it a one time thing? You use that money and say, okay, I will buy a bigger house, maybe I'll borrow, but I'll buy a bigger house and I will repay the whole loan in 5 years. Then you don't have to provide for anything at your retirement, saying because you already have a bigger house, maybe you can even sell the bigger house and buy a smaller house. That is also possible. So the question is, when you get an increment, which is take the figure after tax and see what impact it is going to have on your retirement goal also, because just this change or just this lifestyle creep on a regular basis might postpone your might force you to postpone your retirement from the age of 54 to the age of 57. Nothing wrong with that, but you should know. In fact, I keep wondering what kind of advice financial advisors give, because financial advisors are just financial advisors, not lifestyle advisors. They cannot tell you which camera to buy, which vacation to take, where your children should study. That's not their area of expertise. They can tell you, look, you require 8 crores for retirement. Right now you are at 6. You have enough time in which this portfolio will also grow and you will also contribute, so you will perfectly be in line for having 9-10 crores of your for your corpus for retirement. There is absolutely no issue. However, since you are saying that you are going to be removing 2 crores from this fund corpus for your daughter's MBA in Wharton, that's a good news, but it means your retirement plan gets postponed, or you have to invest more, you have to save more, you have to invest more, and the markets have to do as well in the next 5-7 years that it has done in the last 10 years. Remember, when we are making these projections, we are making these projections on the back of an extremely good bull market, very small bearish tendencies, but not really long enough for you to get hurt. So we are on the back of a very good bull market. Based on this, we are assuming that you will be able to create this corpus at the age of 54. However, you're just 44 now, so next 10 years, what will happen in the market? Market could remain stagnant, could come down, whatever. Over a 10-year period, I'm not pessimistic, but yeah, you have to be ready for a bad market over the next few years. So considering that you're removing 2 crores for your daughter's education, considering that the markets could be down for a longer period of time than it has been, considering that over 10 years the market may give you say 7% per annum return or 8% per annum return, which means it will be 1 or 2% above inflation, because the market has already done a run up, or maybe the market could do very well, but then you have to also be worried about inflation. So the net money that you are making, which will add to your corpus, will not be sufficient for you to retire at 54. You may have to retire at 58. This is all a financial advisor can do. Whether she should go abroad to study, whether she should study in India, is the client's call or the client's daughter's call. It's going to be very unlikely that a person with 10 crores target and 8 crores currently or 7 crores is what he currently has or whatever, it's very unlikely that he will tell his daughter that, look, I can't afford your education abroad. He might say, okay, I will give you 1 crore and the balance you should borrow. That is perfectly possible and it is legitimate. Or he gives her 2 crores and say, look, the first time, the minute you start earning, you have to repay, because this is going to be my retirement corpus. May happen, may not happen, child may earn well, not earn well. I'm not getting into all those arguments. The job of a financial advisor is to just say, if you do this, that will happen. Financial advisors are just proof that Excel works and you know how to use Excel, and you are able to tell the client that, look, this one-time expense on your camera or one-time expense on some a bigger house is fine, but because of this, the extra expense that you're going to incur per month or per annum, the usage, etc., that is going to delay your retirement. That's all. After that, it is up to the client whether he wants to buy a bigger house or take a vacation regularly or take a vacation once in 3 years. Whatever he wants to do, it is his call. You cannot decide whether he should take a vacation, where he should take a vacation. That is not the job of a financial advisor. I made this video because I heard one financial advisor say, telling the client what he should be doing. That's not your job. Your job is to say, if this, then what? If you do this, what will happen? That's it. If you are getting a hike in salary, and because of that you're increasing your standard of living by your eating out or whatever, remember that lifestyle creep has also got to be provided during your retired years. So there is one person I know who has created this retirement box, where he keeps investing in 2-3 funds. He thinks he will have a spare house to give on rent, whatever. So the minute he goes out and eats, or he thinks that he has done something which he would like to do in his retired life, he puts exactly the same amount into one fund of his, which is I think a balance advantage fund, and he says, look, I spent 8,000 rupees on eating out with my family, I put 8,000 into that fund, because that 8,000 on that day, 30 years hence or 20 years hence, whenever he has that urge, he's saying the same amount of money will be available adjusted for inflation for me to eat out. So remember, the lifestyle creep that you're doing, nothing right or wrong about it, but has to be provided in the inflation required for your retirement corpus. Because even on your retired life, maybe at the age of 65, you will still go out and eat and do all those things. So you need to provide for that also now. That's the purpose of making this video. Thank you.